What do you get in a world where the actual news is more strange and insane and unbelievable than fiction? You get the U.S. dramatically shaking up the world order by Donald Trump siding with Vladimir Putin out loud and publicly. You get the American president describing himself as a king and sending this out from the White House account. And by the way, in case you missed it, there is actual news that an asteroid could hit Earth in 2032. A world that is so beyond belief and comprehension that we are left with works of fiction feeling more real and more familiar than our actual lives, the actual news. Works like the new political thriller series out right now on Netflix, Zero Day. Zero Day tells the story of a former American president named George Mullen, played by Robert De Niro, who is pulled out of retirement in the wake of a cyber terrorist attack to investigate what happened and who carried out that attack on American soil, all while the country is as unsettled and deeply divided as ever. Here's a look.
We're Americans. What are we doing? We're supposed to be standing up for each other. We're supposed to be helping each other. But you think you're doing the right thing? No, you're not. You're afraid. You're not behaving like an American, nor a patriot. You're here standing up for the little guy, the working man? Well, there are working men and women buried right beneath our feet, right here. You don't trust the government? I get that. It hasn't always come true for everybody, but this isn't about the government or the 1% or whatever the hell you want to call them. It's about somebody out there that hates us, that stands against everything that we stand for, everything that makes us who we are. And they found a way to hurt us. It's that simple. And right now, these people need to get back to work and get those people out. And you need to let them. You want to stand by and offer your support and your prayers, that's great. But please, just do it from behind the barricade.
If the speech or the applause it brought gave you the feels, you're not alone. Zero Day is brought to us by some familiar faces to this program. Mike Schmidt, who is also my husband for the purposes of this segment and otherwise. Noah Oppenheim and Eric Newman are the co-creators and executive producers behind the series. Eric, I'm going to start with you. So these two come to you and say, we have this idea. Then what happens?
It actually began, Noah and I met. We're friends. We've been friends for a long time. I knew, of course, who Mike was. I didn't know him personally. I've now had the immense pleasure of spending a lot of time with him.
He got dressed up for you.
He really did.
He doesn't do that
we
for us.
were mocking him a second ago. Like, wow. Noah and I met, and we were talking about, I had asked him in his capacity as the head of NBC News, what's coming? That obviously you can't, I've lived in this country in the past 20 years and not seen a trend with how we process information and what then becomes our truth. And he scared me, of course, by telling me that we were headed into an even more polarized, separate realities where different people accept different things as truth and they're mutually exclusive and yet have to coexist. And he told me about what Mike was working on at the time, and it just immediately sparked this idea of like, wow, we need to do a show about this. And then the next thing we knew, we were talking to Robert De Niro about it, and off we went.
It's people like you do.
It happens sometimes.
Let me ask you this. I mean, I'm a big Homeland devotee. I quote Carrie Matheson all the time. And Zero Day is directed by Leslie.
Sure.
And Homeland was so on the nose of our post 9/11 CIA and realities. But this sits right in the pocket of our political divisions today.
Yeah.
How does that feel, and how do you make something like that that's so on the nose?
I mean, it's a constant sort of meta exercise because as we're making the show and the three of us are sitting there on set with Leslie at the monitor, something happens in the news that happens in our show. I mean, there were things that, when we wrote the show in early, I would say 2022, we were actually really writing a lot of the things that have come to pass and that, maybe people say we're mirroring in our show hadn't happened yet. And so, like I think all of us, if you look 25 years ago, if someone were to tell you any of the 50 things that have happened in our world, you wouldn't believe any of them. And, it's that sort of remarkable. And so I think for us, this opportunity to be able to address this in a story and put a character in the center of it, played by Bob, whose mechanism by which truth is determined is actually broken. It just seemed like such an unbelievable opportunity to sort of state that case.
I mean, Noah, the thing that Eric's describing is sort of the tension and the trauma is the terrorist attack.
Yeah.
But what you guys do to us as viewers is you lay tension and trauma on top of that in Bob's character. Explain.
Yeah, well, I mean, as Eric alluded to, the character of George Mullen, which Bob plays, is put in charge of this investigation that has massive consequences, right? How do we figure out who did this? How do we prevent another attack like this? But what you realize early on in the series is that he is going through something that is making it very difficult for him to determine reality from fantasy. And that felt like a terrific metaphor for our whole society's apparent inability to determine reality from fantasy. In a way of also commenting on what is the greatest danger we face, right? We could all list the challenges in the world, whether it's an actual cyber attack, God forbid, a nuclear incident, climate change, you name it, whatever scares you. The problem we have fundamentally beneath all that is that we can't begin to confront those things unless we can all agree on a common reality, a common set of facts. And without that, all those other challenges are going to go unaddressed.
And I have a special window into some of what animated this for you, and it's the people wielding power. Talk about that.
Well, I think problems where there's no one else to call are particularly fascinating. So in this case, you have a federal government and someone in George Mullen trying to get to the bottom of something that happens, and there's no one else that can help him. There's no other government to call. There's no other investigative commission to call. In the same way that folks that ran these investigations into our own government had no one else to help them, they're left by themselves. And this show allows us to see what would happen. How would the United States react if there was a catastrophic attack? Would the country respond the way it did after 9/11, or would it respond in a far different way because there is no shared truth? And I think all three of us deeply feel that if something like this were to happen, where 3,000 people, are killed as they are in the show, that the country would really struggle. And we're trying to bring attention to that. And we're trying to say, hey, dear America, there are real dangers out there. And if they happen, what could happen to the country and what would the ramifications be?
I mean, you're all in your own way in the truth business. And this really seems to have, if there's an inanimate character that goes on its own journey, it's the truth. I mean, what are you optimistic that the truth will make a comeback?
I mean, having wrestled with these challenges, both in the world of fiction and previously in the world of journalism, if I had a solution, I'd be shouting it from the rooftops. I mean, this polarization that we see, it's not a new observation. I mean, everyone in chairs like yours has been commenting on it now for years, but it seems like it only has gotten worse. I mean, the one optimistic note that I think we do want to try to focus on, and I think the show tries to focus on, is in a world where the institutions are broken, where the media landscape is fractured, I think it is still true that people have inside themselves a moral compass, an inner voice, a sense of what's right and wrong, and that maybe if we can't solve these macro problems with one brushstroke, maybe they get solved one person at a time if we start looking inside ourselves and treating other people, our fellow citizens, with a sense of humility and kindness and compassion, and maybe inch by inch we start getting back to some semblance of peaceful coexistence and conversation.
Yeah, I think that's the aspirational quality of our show, the hope that, this character finds his way there in the course of the story, and hopefully others will, and perhaps maybe there'll be some hardening of a middle that, isn't so convinced that they're right and the other side is wrong. And I think, that if there's some movement towards that, then there's a shot, for sure.
I mean, I don't want to offer any spoilers. I'm going to play a little bit more from Lizzie Kaplan. Let me do that. Let me play Lizzie Kaplan's impassioned plea to her own father.
So Roger tells me you're going to vote against the commission.
And it won't matter, but yeah, of course I'm going to vote against the commission as fascist.
Oh, come on. Look, it's only temporary until we can get a handle on what's really going on.
Said every would-be dictator who ever grabbed power. I'm sorry, are you actually considering doing
I
this?
haven't decided yet.
Okay, hear me out, please, for 1 second on this. So let's say that this whole thing turns out to be very simple, right? That it's Moscow, or the Revolutionary Guard, or a bunch of neo-Nazis who figured out how to use a computer. It almost doesn't even matter, right? Because not everybody wants an answer. There are people, if they see a crisis like this, right? They don't want to resolve it. They want to weaponize it. They're going to make you head of the commission. So they're saying, okay, you hold the gun. You pull the trigger.
All right.
I mean, that's about power. That's about our screwed up relationship with truth. But it's also, as with other things, it's leading us to this place where it is true that it would be simple if it was just Moscow. It's incredible.
It also raises a question that seems to have gotten lost a lot during the past few years, which was the post 9/11 debate about civil liberties. And as the government has more power today than it's ever had, it has more capability today, electronically, surveillance-wise, weapon-wise. And that debate, which was robust after 9/11, seems to have gotten lost with a lot of what went on with Trump and, when Trump was out of office and Trump coming back. And I think what the show tries to do in having this all-powerful investigator is raise that issue again and say, hey, look, what would it mean if the government had unfettered power? And to add something on top of